Hi friends! Today we are checking out the newest collection from Sonia G, her Lotus set. But first, if it's your first time here, hi, I'm Alicia. Thank you so much for clicking on my video. And if you are returning, well, thank you for visiting me again. Kinky Sweat stands for my kinky hair and sweat life. I am a fitness professional who loves things all movement and beauty. If you want to check out what I do in between the makeup, so you can head over to my Instagram. First and foremost, a huge thank you to Sonia G and the Beautylish team for sending these over. I was elated to have received the order notification, and I actually expected these to come later this week, as the FedEx email said Wednesday, and I'm like, well, I'll be in Bear Mountain, but I'll get to it when I can. But they showed up today, so I'm very pleased to know that, because many of you have been asking me about the Lotus set, if I knew about it. I'm like, yes, I do. The minute I saw these handles, I was completely floored. I mean, they are simply to die for. I had typed in my original IG comment that they were ethereal looking, and truly they are in person, even more so. So in this video, we'll go over the details. Of course, all timestamps will be down below, going over the brush details individually, standout comparisons, the same standout comparisons Sonia makes. I know we love to go crazy comparison, but just to kind of keep this video compact, we'll go over the main ones, and of course the demos using the brushes. And given the time constraints that I'm working with, this won't be as formal as my usual brush videos where I show you, the B-roll. But we'll get the close-up shots, we'll get the details, so you can make a guided shopping decision. If you want to get it, if you want to skip it, you'll know by the end. You probably made that decision already upon Sonia dropping the news of the Lotus set. I'm headed over to her blog post on sweetmakeuptemptations.com, which I would highly recommend that you visit, so you could get the measurements for each brush, comparisons not only between her collection, but that of MAC, Wayne Goss, Hakuhodo, and a whole slew of other brands. From the name alone, you can probably suspect that the Lotus set is inspired by the Lotus Flower. Sonia writes, the strength and courage required in these times and the wishful thoughts of a powerful rebirth triggered the theme for these handles, the Lotus Flower. I really wanted to work with purple for this set, as I received many comments requesting this color. Together with the artisans, we made it dominant in a gradation that looks more organic and grainier, more similar to what you see on flowers. If you don't know what a Lotus flower looks like, here it is right popped up in front of me. It's utterly gorgeous. I never had the pleasure of seeing one in person, but it just seems that the dimensions of the colors jump out at you, and the mirror side of it, I could only imagine, is just transcendent in its appearance. Everything from how the petals look to the colors. The handles start with an intense dark burgundy sprinkled with subtle golden sparkles at the bottom. It shifts to purple, then sakura pink, and ends with pure white at the very top of the handle where it connects to the ferrule. And just so we can see that, so you have the Sonia logo here at the tip of the handle, but you can see, as she had described, a grainier gradient that's not as heavily present in her Pro or Face series, which I think is beautiful because you could just see so many more colors here. And then the ferrule is absolutely gorgeous. It's this beautiful purple color. I think she calls it cassis. And to quickly go over the price, this set is only sold as a set, is limited edition, and it retails for $215. Before you crap your pants, if you haven't encountered Fude before, Fude brushes are handmade in Japan. Anything that's handmade versus machine made, automatically more expensive. Furthermore, the gradient paint job on the handles makes it more expensive, and the ferrule is made of brass and not aluminum, and brass is a more expensive metal to work with. All the brushes in the collection are, of course, because they are made in Kumano, Japan, are hand bundles, so they are not laser machine cut. The shapes you see are as is, because an artisan used their own hands and brush making techniques to create the brush head for each of these brushes, and that's why there's a limited amount. And Sonia is a smaller brand, so that's why she doesn't have a ton at once. And with that said, I will leave all details down below for the Fusion series restock. I know many of you have wanted to get your hands on it. They went very quickly, so we'll make sure we'll help each other out in knowing when that next restock is coming, and hopefully it will be enough for some some of you to grab them. Also note to follow Sonia's IG page, which I will also include down in the description box so you can get a heads up for those updates. We have a total of 6 brushes. One brush is from the current collection. It is the Worker brush that originally appeared in her fundamental set, or her, yes, the first set she had ever created. 3 new brushes, fam. We have the Base, the Detail, and Soft Definer. 2 bestsellers that we have different designs from. The Cheek, which is originally found in her Face Pro set, that is undyed, or excuse me, dyed goat hair. This one is undyed. And the Builder, which is dyed in her original set and undyed here. There they are. I was so excited to see this brush. Sonia is known for her fan brushes, so to have a foundation brush that is shaped like a fan was just like, yes! And she made sure to include, I think, a good amount of undyed goat hair bristles in this collection that you can also use with cream and liquid. So we'll go over those details, and because we're going to go through a demo as well, let me pull you in a little closer. That's enough. All right, we put a little eyebrow on so I don't look so naked. Sonia had also recommended that upon receiving your brushes that you wash them right away so they could go to their full-blown fluff potential. So I made sure to wash them as soon as they arrived, and I put my little fan next to them so it kind of, you know, quicken it up. First, we have the Lotus Base, and the materials are the same one found in the Fusion series, that beautiful combination of synthetic and natural bristles. And you see here that the bristles are fairly short, which makes the brush very dense, but Sonia had said that it's not pokey, it's still soft, and in comparison to the Fusion series brush that I will grab now, this one has a little more flexibility, she says. So this is the Jumbo Base. In comparison to the Lotus Base, you see them head on here, and side by side you're gonna get a lot more bristle in the Jumbo Base. So the Fusion Base has this slant to it that's not super pronounced but definitely present, whereas in the Lotus Base, I believe it's even slanted on both sides. And namely, because of the shape, you're gonna have more of a paddle brush feel from the Lotus Base, where you could actually achieve a similar technique with the Jumbo Base, but I actually use a little bit of both in terms of like buffing in and paddling down. It has a fan type of ferrule, which makes the brush firm in the center and more flexible towards the edges. The stronger bristles in the center help specifically when we need to work and target hollow areas that are a bit more difficult to buff. The shape is linear, so it fits and glides around the eyes or the nose easily. To demo, I will apply my Huda Beauty Faux Filter Stick. This is in the shade Butter Pecan. I've been using this a lot, so I thought it appropriate, especially with a brush like the Lotus Base, you know, because it's a little firmer, and since this is more of a stick foundation, doesn't have the same fluidity as a liquid one. Ooh, you know what? Hold on, let me get my auric. Just dropping down a little bit of citrine, because surprisingly, Butter Pecan might be a little too light, you know, for the summer glow. We're going in. Let's do it. Oh, as suspected, that same beautiful silky feel that's found in the Fusion series, but what I love immediately is just the paddle down technique Sonia had described that this will be most useful for. And get this, I love that I can get around the brows more precisely than I can even with the Jumbo Base. You can make it happen, but you just have to be a little more careful. This is fantastic. Look at that, between the eyebrows, around the nostrils of the nose, and really great for the jawline. So although you can get around these precise areas very carefully, because of the fan shape, the rest of the face, the cheeks and forehead, the blend can be quite fast. I'm practically done. I love going down the jawline in this manner. You could go quick up strokes in this way. And again, I love the temple application. It's just so seamless and easy to get around. And if you had lipstick on, or let's say you wanted to touch up, you could do so under your lip. It's not going to be precise as a smaller brush, of course, but I think useful if you just wanted a quick cleanup here around the lip area. Well, that was easy. The Fusion series combination of bristles is just unlike anything I have ever tried, and I feel bad for my other brushes because I have been using that set nonstop, and now to have a base brush with the same combination, I think that was a great move. Because if you don't have Sonia brushes at all, I mean not one, okay, maybe one, maybe two. If you wanted a whole set of face and eye, I would consider this one, because the only other set that has both face and eye brushes is her fundamental set that has the bigger base on the handle, her Kiyaki travel set, which has the exposed wooden handles but are shorter. This is like the first full-size brush set with the pro handle design that has both face and eye. So this is going to get it done. Like, no matter what product you have, is going to get blended. If you quickly wanted to see the other fan brushes from Sonia's collection, I have the Sculpt 2, both the old and the new, but I will show you the new. Let's see here. So here we have the Lotus Base, we have Sculpt 2 from her fundamental set, and we have the Worker fan from her Sky set, and of course the classic Sculpt 1 from her fundamental set. So this is a range of the different sizes Sonia has in her entire collection for fan shapes, and you can see that the Lotus Base is the smallest one, even compared to the Sculpt 2 here. The Sculpt 2 has still longer bristles from the base of the ferrule, and I just think because of the shorter length here, it just makes for quick blending, as you saw. Very versatile in whatever technique you choose to use, and of course very versatile in terms of whatever product you want to use it with. I'm sure you can still use this for powder foundation. I don't think it'll be as efficient as a round brush would, but you can still make it happen. Now, if we were to rely only on this set for our entire face, let's check out how Lotus Base does with concealer. And I would only suspect that you could just use the edge of the brush like so. You could even go in like this, which is great because it's going to pull very gently along the lower lash line. And because it fans out, you can use the corner of the brush successfully to get into that part of the eye that could be tough with a bigger brush, and then whip it along the nose to just blend it out. Done. You're done. Ooh, that was lovely. And of course, I have to go in with Danessa's Contour Balm, because if you're into cream bronzers or contours and you want to use Lotus Fan, or excuse me, Lotus Base, I just want to say Lotus Fan. But between all the applications, fam, I am rubbing the brush on a microfiber towel. So this is medium 2, and I particularly love to use a fan brush for contour and or bronzer for a cream product, because it just fits easily into the hollows. You could buff it up instead of down to ensure that it does not drop the complexion. Insanely easy. Or if you want, you can tap it in this way first and then use upward strokes to finish the blend and to get that product nice and diffused. Insanely easy, really nice for the jawline. As you see here, you could use Lotus Base along the sides of the nose. Could be a little big. I think if you use very little product, you can get away with it. Ta-da! Around the temples here, tops of the forehead. Superb. And of course, I have to. Let's see how this does with some liquid highlight, going in with Lisa Eldridge's Solar Light from her Elevated Glow. And using the side of the brush now, the Lotus Base, to tap down the highlight. Oh boy, oh boy, that's going to be absolutely gorgeous. This brush makes it so insanely easy for liquid highlighter. I know it can be a little tough, maybe. Even with the rounder brush, you just have to tap out the edges more. But when it's a fan brush, please, one side of it and you're done. You're done. It just keeps the product right where you need it to stay. Now, I don't want to give the Lotus Base all the fun, so we're going to move on. Next up, we have the Lotus Cheek. This is the same as the Cheek Pro found in Sonia's original Face Pro set, except now this is undyed Psycho Goat Hair, which means you can use it with both cream and liquid products. Very versatile in design. It's not too big, not too small. So I think you can use this with a variety of cheek products. Dare I say, if because it's undyed goat hair, if you wanted to apply your foundation with this brush instead, it's going to absorb a little more product than the Lotus Base, because the Lotus Base has synthetic and natural. So if you want more of a product lay down, I would rely on the Lotus Base. But if you want more of a wispier application of foundation, you can use the Cheek. You can use the Lotus Cheek. Now, we already applied a lot of makeup, but I wanted to go in with Pat's under eye blurring powder, because we could actually use this brush here. I believe this is a new shape. This is the Lotus Detail. Is a lot more wispier and lightweight than the Lotus Cheek, which I think more ideal for under eye. But you can why am I even trying to use this mirror? You could get some under eye powder action from Lotus Cheek. Is it going to be the most ideal for you if you prefer to use smaller brushes in general? Maybe not, but I think you could still make it happen if this was the only set that you had. And it's so incredibly soft. I believe in the description here on her blog post that it's a little more wispy feeling than the original Cheek Pro. So let's take a look. This is the original Cheek Pro from Sonia's Face Pro set. So although the head sizes are the same, you can see that you get a lot more fluff from Lotus Cheek, and that is a little more dense from the Cheek Pro. Now, depending on your preference, many people really love the Cheek Pro because of its precision. If you want your blush to stay right where you put it. It also has nice flow too, because it is dyed goat hair. It's going to have beautiful silkiness on the skin, but this does have a little more movement to it. It's a little more wispy in feel. So again, if you were looking for that from Cheek Pro, you're definitely going to get it from the Lotus Cheek, the undyed version. As we just saw, I think it applies powder beautifully well under the eyes. I also think quite appropriate to use for the rest of your face. If you're one to powder the rest of your face, whether it be with pressed or loose, you can get it done with the Lotus Cheek. Of course, we're gonna go in with the Lisa Eldridge. Now, I have been dying over Dante's Dream. Dante's Dream has been my go-to shade of choice, and because again, this is undyed goat hair, I am going to just go to town with Dante's Dream. Just right now. We're doing it right now. Here we go. Oh, yes. Oh. Simply and utterly effortless. I love the fact that she included a cheek brush that was undyed. I just think it makes the possibilities more versatile in terms of what products you choose to pick. And although it's still undyed, it's still very soft. It does not feel pokey or stabby. It just feels beautifully silky on the skin. Amazing. Of course, we gotta go in with Mother Pat's Paradise Venus. I have been using this nonstop with Dante's Dream. Oh, the Lotus Cheek is insane. I just love how incredibly soft it is. But because it's soft and it has some flair, it's still a small brush. So you're gonna have some control still over the application. I don't know if you noticed, but this is the combination that I've been doing. I've been going in with Paradise Venus and Desert Orchid on top of Dante's Dream. This has been my go-to summer trifecta blush combination. Oh my goodness. And we didn't even get to the next one. Here we have the Lotus Detail. This is a lot fluffier. It doesn't have as many bristles as the Lotus Cheek, a combination of dyed and undyed Psycho goat hair. You see here it has a slant. So this is designed to splay on purpose. So if you really want like that beautiful blush effect on the apples of the cheeks, that's what it's going to give. And because it's a combination of undyed and dyed, and because it doesn't have as much bristle, it's not going to pick up as much product as the Lotus Cheek. But if you love just like that wispy look on the cheeks, man oh man. And also beautifully ideal for bronzer application that's a little more tighter on the blend, since it's a smaller brush, is going to fit more closely into the hollows of the cheeks, and that slant just makes it insanely easy to get that blend perfect. The Detail brush is a new brush that was bundled with dyed and undyed Psycho Goat, just like the Face Pro. Ooh, we gotta show the Face Pro. Face Pro is by far one of my most favorite Sonia G brushes of all time. So it's like the baby version. Hello. So here we have the original Face Pro. There you have the angle and still the dyed and undyed Psycho Goat hair mix. Definitely much smaller, but I'm so happy she went with the slant because I also love her classic face from her travel Kiyaki set. So this is the classic face. You see it has a shorter handle, the exposed wood, but what I loved about this brush is just the wispiness of it and how versatile that made it to use with different products. And I find that same wispiness exists here in the Lotus Detail, but even more so because I believe this does not have as many bristles as you see here from the classic face brush. So this is going to lay down a little more product. It's going to have a little more pushback, whereas the Lotus Detail, the float. So Lotus Flower is usually found on a body of water, right? It's like a pond. This is like the physical manifestation of a Lotus Flower in terms of how it floats. That's what the Lotus Detail is doing. I know I put a bunch of stuff on my face already, but we got to see how this does. You know what? I'm just going to grab another. No, you know what I'm going to do? So I have Melt 27. I brought this eyeshadow palette to Bae's house and I have been thoroughly enjoying it. So going in with one of these shades because one of you has said that this will make also for a great face palette. And because this is fairly small, it could get into these pans easily. So I'm going into Nip Slip and we're going to place it right here on the apples of the cheeks. Done. That is beautifully easy. And I just love this for blush. Absolutely love it. The way it floats on the skin, look at that. The splay on the skin is absolutely divine. Ideal for blush wearers, especially if you love blush. My goodness. Superb. Grabbing Chantecaille's Real Bronze in Sirena. I thought maybe, I got a lot of stuff on, but this is the demo. Using this. Oh yeah. If you don't want to use Lotus Cheek for your bronzer or powder application, you have to use this. You have to use Lotus Detail for it. It's completely and utterly perfect. I mean, you can't get an easier application and experience. And the way it moves, like you see that, it just makes for an ideal cheek product application because it's Sonia just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it well. I can't get enough. I'm just so happy right now with how my makeup is turning out, despite the fact that I applied a gazillion products on already. Come here. Come here. Look how smooth everything is looking. It doesn't look uneven. It doesn't look textured, overly made up. My skin still appears like itself. Wait a minute. Hold on. You got to come back in because now we're getting into the eyes. We have 3 eye brushes. 2 are currently existing but redesigned with undyed goat hair and 1 new shade. Let's start off with the Lotus Worker. Lotus Worker takes on the same design as Worker 2 from her original set. This time we have undyed goat hair. I believe the original 2 is also undyed goat hair. Let's see, I went through all my brushes. Here it is. This is the original Worker 2. You see it has the wider base and the red to black gradient. Here they are side by side. They're both fluffy, and I believe Sonia had written that she insisted on including this design in the Lotus set because the Worker series in her collection, they're incredibly multifunctional in terms of having the brush being able to lay down shadow on your lid, to blend it along your crease, to buff out any harsh lines, and to also possibly blend under the lash line. But that's what she designed her soft definer for. So we're going to get into that momentarily. The other reason why this brush is in the special edition Lotus set is because it is indeed a very important brush in the Sonia journey, one of the most multi-purpose yet unique brushes in my collection. I agree, Sonia. And because again, this is undyed goat hair, we could use it with cream shadows. If you're into the eye pots and the whatevers, like, this is going to be it. This is the one that's going to lay down that product effortlessly on the lid, and then you can use it to blend it through the crease. You know what? Let's get into it. Do I have any? Yes. Going in with Auric's Temper Shade. I haven't used these in a while. Then I just need to stop buying makeup. Taking a little bit from the pot, just a touch, and then we'll go in on this lid. Oh yeah. The Worker design from Sonia is just, again, originally when she first created her fundamental set, she wanted to create brushes that she thought was missing from the industry, like those in-between designs that anytime you use the brush from a set brand or several brands, you're like, I wish I had something more like this. This is what the Worker, I feel, represents, and you immediately identify that, experience that upon using it. If it's your first time, or it will be your first time using the Worker brush, get ready, because the fact that you could use it to lay down product on the lid and then use the edges to buff it through the crease makes it incredibly simple to use. And this is where it makes a difference that these bristles are not cut but hand bundled. That means that the ends of the bristles, the tips, are left intact and they're not blunt. You know what that means? A silkier, smoother blend on the eyes, and the brush is not going to move the skin. This is what I run into when I use synthetic brushes, that no matter how soft they feel, like, I get it, I know they have a role. When it comes to skin that's textured or that moves easily, a natural hair brush is going to be far more superior in your blending experience than a synthetic one. You could fight me down below on it, but you let me know, because based on using both and from my experience, there's nothing better. Let's go in with the powder. You know, I'm going to use these metallics. I found these are best applied with the finger. I have like a whole melt synopsis on my channel if you want to see that video. But because the Auric is down first, these metallics have something better to stick to. But man, you can see that the Lotus Worker is doing a fabulous job on laying down a metallic on the lid. So it's not going to be your typical lay down, but we have the builder for that. So hang tight, because we're not done, okay? This is also great if you wanted to rely on one and done shadows. Like, I consider the Suku to be like, those quads are so beautifully edited. You could use one shade, slap it on the lid, and then turn this brush on its side to blend the edges through the crease, and you're done. Like, you can't ask for an easier experience. Sonia had also suggested you could use the Worker for concealer application. So in this demo, I used the Lotus Base. But if you rarely wear concealer or apply very little, you can still use this brush to blend it out so that you don't have to use so much product. I realized that we did not go in with the Lotus Detail for highlighter. Oh, that's nice though. It helps that Golden Nectar is beautifully smooth and easy to apply, but it's nice to know that if I just have this brush, ta-da! I'm keeping the Worker on standby because I want to use it through the crease. Well, you know what? Let's finish up. Let's use it through the creasy crease. I'm going to go in with Thick, one of the matte shades in here. And man, you want to talk about easy blending. Poof. Although it's not your traditional tapered fluffy brush that I myself love to use, you can still get a nice crease blend done with the Worker brush. Absolutely. You just have to use a very light hand and let the brush do its thing, okay? There's no need to apply unnecessary amounts of pressure. You just have to let the bristles dance on your skin, and you're going to get a beautiful blend. That's it. Now we'll apply something on the inner corner, and for that we will rely on the Lotus Builder. This takes on the same design as Builder 3. I believe that appeared in her original collection. Let's see here. Yes, this is the original Builder 3. There you see the wider base. The shape is the same, but as you see, undyed goat hair as opposed to dyed. This was a fast favorite. This came out as a single and people just loved it for its packing purposes. You can see the brushes here from the top, and the Lotus Builder has similar flexibility. But let's go on to her blog again so we could catch any important points here. This builder is similar to the Builder 3 in my current permanent collection, but this version is with undyed bristles. It's very important to add a strong intuitive builder in the set, because if we want to go for bolder look, we need a brush that can build pretty much anything effortlessly, specifically when we want to play with shimmers, metallics, and even creams. So we could get away with a nice metallic laydown from Lotus Worker, but if we want to get something from the builder, I'm going in with Vegas Past. Oh yeah, this picks up a lot, which is what people loved it for. You're blocking yourself. If you want to lay down that metallic shade of your dreams and you didn't want to use your finger, okay, this is the brush that's going to pick up the product, lay it down like butter on your lid, evenly, opaquely, supremely. And it's still fairly small to get to the inner corner. Yeah, like I didn't have a hard time at all. And then because it's not super flat, there's still a little fluff, just a little fluff. You could use the edges of the brush to just finish off the inner part of the corner so it could flow through the rest of the shadow cohesively, and there are no harsh edges or stops in that application. You could also use this to blend out your liner if you choose to, if you'd like to apply liner and blur it out on your lash line. If you wanted to just do a little something here with like a fun color along the lash line. Very versatile brush. Happy that it's undyed so we can use it with multiple mediums. And last but not least, we have the Soft Definer. I immediately thought about the mini, is it the mini blend? It's in the Sky set. The Little Soft Definer is a new brush and a key brush in this set. It is a cross between a pencil brush and a crease brush. That is phenomenal. It has density and a round tip, so it's directional but remains stable and flexible. Strength and discipline for these bristles was important so that we could easily and precisely build the intensity inside the crease and achieve an even placement specifically when we need to work with more precision. She compared this to the Blender Pro. And she had also noted that sometimes with the crease brush specifically, even with the small one, if there's too much splay, the bristles can get in her eyes and that makes for an uncomfortable lash blend, right? This doesn't have as much splay. So it's more directional, as she had described, and ideal if you love lower lash line hazing, but more so if, for instance, if you love that cut crease life. Now, because this is dyed goat hair, I wouldn't use this with the cream, but you can use a shadow to carve out in your crease, and this is incredibly smooth. So I don't know how many times, I've run into the issues where blending out a precise application of color along the crease, but the skin moves, so it just looks, the stops in the blend look uneven and not smooth at all. I almost dropped it. This, though, it's just gonna glide through your crease, silky, not going to move the skin, and the end result is just going to be super smooth. Taking Moonchild, however, I'm using this brush to just get a little bit of a deeper shadow on the outer corner. So if you have smaller eyes, this will be incredibly ideal to just tap on the color where it needs to go very precisely, instead of using a crease brush that's too big for your outer corner. And it's a little bit of both, as Sonia described. So you could use this for more directional purposes, or you could use it for more blending here. Wow, this is my new favorite lower lash line brush. Full stop. The fact that it doesn't splay, but it still has a little bit of fluff. I'm so angry. You can still get your swirl and twirl on, most definitely. It's still silky enough that you can resort to your more traditional points of technique. Like, I love a swirl and twirl. You know what I mean? I love a dragon glide. That's fine too. But I appreciate the fact that this brush's design opens that possibility for me. I don't have to limit myself. You could also use this for very inner lower lash line application. Will it be a little too much? Maybe. I don't mind for the shimmer to go a little down. I don't mind at all. You could also use this for the inner corner. If you don't want to rely on the builder, get it right here, okay? This is beautiful for the crease. Oh. If we were to go back in with the worker, just to feather out the edges here, even finish the lower lash line. What can I say? We did our whole face, all the products, you know. Let's put on some mascara, because we got to do it. Oh my gosh. Don't fall. And some Muse from Lisa. I don't know if you could tell, but of course I highly recommend this set. Again, if you already have Sonia G brushes, you already know how beautifully designed they are, how intentional they are. And that's why no matter what Sonia comes out with, I know it's going to be a hit, because she put so much thought into what difference can she make in someone's brush collection? What can she do in order to make the user want to apply their makeup, to feel inspired to apply their makeup, and to be happy while they're applying their makeup? That thought process itself is just what fascinates me about anything that Sonia makes, and this Lotus set is nothing different. Again, if you have Sonia brushes, do you necessarily need this? No, because you can achieve this look with many Sonia brushes that you have. She has created a slew of different bristle types and brush head designs that can take you from complexion all the way to eye effortlessly. If you don't have any of her brushes, I think this is a great place to start. Not only is it just gorgeously beautiful with the gradient handles and the purple color ferrule with the brass metal, and you saw you could achieve a whole face look just with this set. Even if your technique is slightly different than mine, I think it's fun to maybe discover other ways you can apply your makeup, just like I had described with the worker brush. Yes, I started with the taper brush, something that looks like this, right? Or even more specifically, something that looks like this. We love to rely on the fluffy crease brush for our first lay down of color on the crease. You know what? Sometimes it's just nice to use a different brush. Sometimes it's nice to challenge your technique to see, hey, maybe I could use this shape instead of this one to get the crease blend on. And you know what? You're going to be able to do it, because it's a Sonia G brush. And this is sold as a set, not individually. Again, it's limited. So if you feel like you're good without it, you're good without it. Okay, especially if you got the Fusion series. Fusion series is out of this world. Even if you have one or two brushes from that collection, and you have, you know, a brush here from the Face Pro, brush here from the Sky Set, Face and Eye, you're going to be fine. But if you don't have any and you have been heavily considering getting a Sonia G brush set, this is the one. A huge congratulations to Sonia. This is beyond my comprehension. So beautifully designed. I love each and every brush. I just love the fact that she included a half with dyed and undyed goat hair, and the fact that she included a new foundation brush with the Fusion series bristle blend. That was great news when I saw that, and I'm so happy that it's a fan shape, different from all the other brushes that she has for foundation in her collection. Let me know if you had already grabbed this when I'm filming. I think the pre-order already started. If you're still thinking about it, if you're gonna pass, if you need any other info, please reach out. I've been trying my best to answer as many comments as possible, but I would always recommend that you visit Sonia's blog, because she has all the details. Since this is her set, her creation, she will for sure cover any info that is missing from this video. Again, a huge thank you to her and Beautylish for sending the set over. I will see you down in the comments, fam. And until then, that is a wrap. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this video helped. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe consider subscribing to my channel. And until then, I will see you in here again with another review tutorial, Sonia G brush extravaganza, monthly favorites, or lunchtime chit chat. Take care, and I will see you again soon.